Hello everyone, welcome to Team Insights. Today we are launching a new initiative keeping in mind the upcoming prelims exam, and also it will be useful for those people who are also trying to build their approaches that how to solve prelims questions. So in the last 10 to 15 days or 20 days, many students are tensed regarding how to go over the examination, and many people are trying to solve too many test series ka question paper. So this initiative is largely focusing on previous year questions which have appeared in UPSC exams. So here I'll be trying to cover questions from NDA, CDS, CPF, that is Central Police Force, and other UPSC related exam, including the previous year civil service examination. So that is the intention of the program. This initiative is called as Think Before You Ink. Means you can use some logic can be applied in prelims paper when we go through the questions. And second one, the other advantage is that to a certain extent you can see the difficulty in test series questions is that they may not be able to balance the quality of the questions or the language that is used in UPSC paper. So solving previous year UPSC question will enhance your capacities to read the question carefully, and it will also make you sure that you relatively calm in 20 days, because once you solve previous year questions you feel more comfortable compared to a test series paper. So that is the intention behind this initiative. So every day I'll be taking up 5 questions from the previous year and I'll be solving through. So this is the first day. So today I have covered questions from different subjects: history, polity, and some with respect to resource geography. But from tomorrow's session I'll be taking up theme wise polity, economy, and we'll be also doing map based questions in that regard. So this will help to students to build their confidence and also many times apply what logic we can use when deducting the answer. So now let's quickly start with today's session and let's look into the first question in front of us. The first question is on history. This was appeared in CDS 2024. This was the recently conducted UPSC exam. So let us look at the question what they're asking here. The question says that 1. The following statements about the Mauryan state and forest people. First statement: the forest people were subjected to new forms of political and economic dominance and necessitated to subordinate and assimilate them, led to a change in the earlier attitude of excluding these people from imperial territory. Meaning what, that we can make one guess here is that Mauryan Empire being a centralized administration in that regard, which made them to require more resources, hence it required them to control the forest. So we can think that this statement can be correct. Second statement: the state recognized that the forest produce was the sole monopoly of the forest people. Now, one hand, one statement they are telling that they are going to assimilate them. On second hand, you are speaking out, you're giving monopoly to the forest people. Obviously, this statement will be incorrect. It won't be correct. Third statement: the state was concerned with conservation of forest. To this, the end of burning of forest was prohibited. So here, if you have read Arthashastra, and Arthashastra, because Arthashastra was written by Kautilya at the times of the Mauryan administration, and if you know basic history knowledge where Mauryans did have a forest department and they brought forest conservation, based on that idea, I would go that this statement would be correct. And fourth statement: the forest people could be harnessed to serve the state. They could be used as troops, spies, and assassins. So generally, if you think, what would be a strong reason not to appoint them as assassins or troops or spies? Because you can recruit from everywhere. So forest people could be also used as informers to the Mauryan state administration. So this statement can be taken as correct. So given the option, they've given one statement is correct, two statement is correct, three statements are correct, all the four statements correct. The answer will be C, that the three statements are correct. So with using minimum knowledge, this is how you can deduct the answer in the exam. And obviously when we go with logical reasoning, you cannot say always all times the questions will be correct. But if you are able to solve 10 questions with strong logic, even if 5 are correct, you stand to gain advantage, because if 3 questions are correct and 7 questions are wrong, you are at net 0 loss. So now let's quickly go on to the next question. The next question is on polity. This is also asked in this year CDS exam paper 2024. Now one trend what you can observe is changing with polity based questions is that they are not directly asking from Lakshmikant based knowledge. They are also asking questions which are bit political science in nature. So here you can say this question what is there, it is based on political science based knowledge which was asked in the recent CDS exam. So here let us look into the question. Even if you are from non-political science background, how can you approach this question? They told political analysis involves both normative and empirical approach. Which of the following statements is or correct about the two approaches? Statement 1, knowledge acquired through empirical approach is value loaded. So, if you know the meaning of the word empirical, empirical means something which is scientific. Something which is scientific is value neutral. It is not value loaded. Hence, statement 1 is incorrect. Statement 2, the knowledge acquires through normative approach. What do you mean by normative? Normative means value laden, which is based on values. So, something which is based on values cannot be objective. Okay. So, because when you say something is good or bad, it is according to you. Something which is empirical will deal with the question true or false. So, you cannot decide normative things objectively. So, this statement is also correct because is wrong. They have actually interchanged these statements. So here empirical approach is actually objective, normative approach is actually value laden approach. They have interchanged this statement. So the answer will be D, neither 1 or 2. So friends, even you are not from a political science background, try to go for the basic meanings of the words in the question. That will help you to deduct the answer. Let's move on to the third question of today's session. Which of the following statements, and when you read the question, always please focus on what is the demand. Here it is not correct. That you should be conscious of the fact. Now let's identify which statements are not correct. So which statement is correct? That can't be part of the answer. In politics, hard power can be exercised both by the state and other actors involving threat or coercion. Yes, it can be, it is correct. Hard power means we are using coercion or force. So they are telling it is exercised by both state and other actors. Who are these other actors? Other actors can be multinational companies, other actors can be terror groups. You can see even terror groups can use force. Like recently Taliban, they used hard power to get control of Afghanistan. So first statement is correct. So this can't be the answer. So if that cannot be the answer, here we can use elimination technique. So A can't be the answer, D can't be the answer, because this will help me to deduct and come to now you can say my chances of getting the correct answer naturally increase to 50%. So answer should be 2 and 3 or 2 and 3 and 4. So let me look at the fourth statement, because if I know the fourth statement, it becomes much easier for me to deduct the answer. Autarky is generally understood as self-sufficiency in economics. It is correct. So if you have read your basic economics well, the meaning of the word autarky is self-sufficiency. So if you see during Hitler's rule or Mussolini, these states went for autarky, self-sufficiency. So fourth statement is correct. So C cannot be the answer. So you are left with elimination technique where B is the answer. It is true that UPSC has reduce the number of questions which are based on elimination technique, but still you have to be ready with it, because you'll never know in 2024 prelims they might ask. Globalization is necessarily economic, not cultural. It is incorrect, because globalization is free movement of ideas, people, capital. So it also includes culture. Washington consensus refers to a policy that seeks intervention in the market. It is incorrect, because Washington consensus is based on neoliberal philosophy, and neoliberal philosophy is based on free market economy. So hence this statement is incorrect. And what is the additional things you can study here for prelims, the other areas? Please read about what is post Washington consensus. You can also read about what is Cornwall consensus, which was recently signed by G7 in that regard. G7 came to Cornwall consensus, and there is also a term called as Beijing consensus. Please look into these three aspects. So the answer to this question is B. Let's move on to the next question. This is based on research part of geography. They have asked ilmenite and rutile is abundantly available in coastal tracts of India. They are rich sources of which of the following? So this was asked in UPSC Civil Service Exam 2023. So let us, how do we approach this question? So one, they are given the keyword is that it is available in coastal tracts. So if you have a basic reading of geography, metals such as uranium, thorium, these are found in coastal areas. So iron you can eliminate because you know that the what you can say iron has magnetite, hematite, etc. And you can say copper, India is not very abundant in copper, so that also you can eliminate. So obviously you can go for the options between aluminum and titanium. If you know titanium is found in coastal areas India, your basic NCERT geography reading, so you can make a logical guess, the answer will be D. So the answer is D. So this also indicates, please read about important resources that has been in news in that regard, because semiconductor industry is growing. So please look into where is uranium, where is thorium, where is titanium. These kind of things are very important for the upcoming prelims. Now let us move into the next question, the last question for the day. I'll be solving 5 questions every day. So here, this is an assertion and reasoning questions. You can see the number of assertion and reasoning questions have increased. It was there prior to 2010, but now you can say it made a re-entry in 2022, and in 2023 that quantum of questions have increased. So let us look into the question. Statement 1. India, despite having uranium deposits, depends on coal for most of its electricity production. So any basic reading, generally you have read NCERT, newspaper, etc. You'll know that India is dependent on coal for the coming future till 2040. Even in 2040, according to the integrated energy policy, India will be dependent on coal for 40%. So statement 1 is correct. Statement 2. Uranium enriched to an extent of 60% is required for producing electricity. See, you need enrichment of 60% except not for electricity, that is for weaponization. Even if you have 5% uranium enrichment, that can be used for electricity. So this statement is incorrect. So it's a very basic question, level 1 question. If you know your basic well, easily you can get the question is this answer to this question correct. That is statement 1 is correct and statement 2 is incorrect. So friends, that's why I told, don't be so tensed about prelims in that regard. Don't try to read too many things in the last moment. Just stick to what you have read, revise your basics well, be calm. Being calm enables you to identify the keywords in the questions, and I would recommend solve more of UPSC ka previous year questions, especially in last 1 month. It will give you more, what you can say, calmness of the mind, more clarity and more confidence. So this is the intention behind Insights coming out with think before you ink. So this is for today. I'll meet you again tomorrow with 5 new questions of previous year UPSC covering CDS, NDA and civil services. With this, I'll end today's session. Thank you.